Man, this is cool. Anyway, hey everybody, this is Retro, hopefully building a soon-to-be Pro loadout for the Adventure Force Aeon Pro. But before we get to that, I'm going to do some quick announcements for my eventual Snyder Cut review. It will indeed be a real Nerf Red Hood video because I started talking about DCU as Jason. I'm going to do my best to do it as Jason, and probably with the whole Bat family. But that also being said, the non-spoilers reviews have been out. My favorite so far is from Angry Joe, so go to them for that. He kept it as pretty honest as it was back in the original review he did, drunk off his ass back in 2017. He had a lot of fun watching it as a bad movie. I wish I had the same luxury when I was Jason at the same time, so go to my previous review for that also to get a context of where things are going to be for that inevitable review. Now, that also being said, there is one other DC-related news I wanted to talk about, and it's basically what I'm going to be doing with this loadout. This will come into play later in the actual review itself, but my goal so far is to build a new character with basically the Avenger Force line. The two characters that come to my mind that I could probably nail is either Deathstroke or Grifter. I really want to do Grifter more because he is getting more prominent in the main Bat books because he is a bodyguard for Lucius after Joker War, so that might be a thing. So, with that all being said, my last, I swear, actual Bat-related thing, I'll probably talk into more detail for the Snyder Cut review, is my quick thoughts, not review, of Dying is Easy, the Batman fan film by Bat and Son Productions. Card 2, basically the video itself, and probably link down below for Nightwing 01's review. It is them back in their full form. I've always liked Bat and Son's work since their early fan films with Kevin Porter's Batman. He's pretty much the internet's Batman for about a good 15 a year, personally speaking, and I do generally think he is a better Batman than most people on screen, even Ben Affleck going by comparison. Nightwing 01 went on about his new costume looking a lot BVS-y, and you could tell on some occasions, but it's still Kevin's version of the character. You can still see that. And I'll probably do a react on Stardust, or probably a quick short of it here for the YouTube Shorts. And that all being said, let's get to this review. Starting off at the top, this is the heaviest prime I've seen so far for a top loader. That is basically what everyone's been saying about this version of the Adventureverse Pro Series. Other than that, the orientation is pretty simple. Aside from that last bit of the spring at the end, it's still a very comfortable, very smooth prime on my side of things. The dry fire is very loud, you can very tell, because mostly underneath is a metal barrel at the front, plastic at the top, so that it can still accept full-length darts. Now, for a lot of people on Etsy and a lot of like homegrown, like eBay kind of like basic modding sites have basically made their own version of Pump Crack. I'm looking at a few right now. Some are more tempting than others. The one thing I can agree with is the grip. The grip itself is fine. It's great for my hands. I'm a relatively short adult hand, honestly speaking. Fits in just fine. I like the mag release here. It works functionally well with most, if not all, of my mags. I don't know if this was the same criticism with the Nexus, the big brother of the two. If it accepts 18 rounders like my old school Stampede 18s. I haven't got the new school ones. I really should buy some. And as you can see, it clipped in just fine, and doesn't gravity drop. As you can tell, you still got to prime back for it. People probably found ways around the locks and stuff like that, but as you can also see, the gravity drop is pretty much flawless, almost like a Recon old school back in the days. The real reason, if you saw my short, why basically this can accept Megas and hang on a sec. Megas and Rival is mainly this flash hire that doubles as a scar barrel. It's a very tight seal, even for stock, and down the barrel you can tell right at this little cavern area, the dark side of it, that is definitely the metal barrel, mostly doing a lot of the air compression. They definitely over-greased it. You could tell in the mag well that they definitely over-greased it, probably for production sake reasons. And another cool thing, just like the Nexus, they do give you a double pack of O-rings for whenever like this gets dry fired way too much, which I'm probably going to be doing. And the fact that they go out of your way to give you a double pack of O-rings is actually really good. It helped me going forward when I gotta re-grease the barrel eventually in a year or so, and probably what a lot of like professional modders do. And as you can tell from my shorts, already locked in, it hits pretty just fine. The thing about it is that it's not spectacular on ranges, but works fantastically in an HVZ kind of territory. I could kind of see it as a close quarters kind of vibe. Whenever games reopen still. The main selling point for pretty much everyone for this and the Nexus is not only the conversion mag here. I don't know every single community made mag they take. I know this might take a Talon. I know it definitely takes Worker Gen 3s. My concern is katanas. I know they're dying out and they're getting that angled version 1 for a lot of new style pistol mags, like the Gecko Car2, basically wall comes version of the Gecko. It's very tempting for me to do a hardware kit for that. Those kits in general, and even hardware kits like the Gecko I just said earlier, range about a good 100 to 200 bucks. Can you take a guess the exact price for a fully kitted, non-kitted out, ready to go, community built and production built Aeon Pro? Alright, you made your guess, in case you paused. It's $25. If you've seen reviews for like the Nexus Pro, like Drac and everybody else did like a year ago, that's about half the cost of that. That is at 50 bucks. Basically, this is like the best adopter, along with the Nexus, to get people into Half-Life rounds in general. Let alone like how the hobby has been doing it for like the last nearly 20 years, how I've been seeing the space and the fandom as a whole. So the big thing I know everyone's complained about is the detents for the Dark Zone Pro Mag, and I can see why going forward. I am tempted to shave it off if I ever do an openness for a proper brass breach, which Chris Katana did. Credit to his video. He is a mad lad. He went all in on that mod. I forgot the name. Brandon Phillips, if I got his name right. He did a full conversion rundown on most of his hobby grade and pro made, community made barrels and stocks and stuff over the years. In my personal opinion, the reason why I forgot to finish what I was saying about the grip is fine. This whole thing in general, personally, is higher tier than even a pistol would be in the hobby grade. I feel like it's a powerful secondary you can bring to a pro match and just bring it in like a capture the flag kind of environment. I would totally see this gaining some inches and stuff like that in a pro environment. The one reason why I'm not seeing it in general is that it doesn't come with a lanyard mount, and I've seen all these body kits and none of them has done a lanyard mount for just the grip. Because personally, if they did it on the grip or any community made grips, I would instantly buy it. I would instantly put it in my tack gear, and I'd be ready to go like so. And this is the first time I've probably shot a half-length round for my channel in general. So for those who haven't seen what I just did there, I'm going to do one other thing. This is the main selling point for me in general for the hobby. The Pro Dart from Adventure Force. This is the hardest hitting I've seen so far. It's overclocking even the usual 120 ranges they've been mentioning, even with the Nexus. I think it's hitting 140. I do not own, for personal reference, I do not have a chronograph. I legitimately want one so I could test mine and see how far I could push mine in general. This is a professional Picatinny rail, and for pretty much what everyone's been doing, they haven't really done a sight with it or anything. If anything, in my personal opinion, I'm probably just going to put lights and lasers, and that would be the end of it for me if I'm going to do night round matches in an HVC territory. I am not obviously going to be using the half lengths. I'm definitely going to convert it straight to my full length. And yeah, I just realized I didn't put any rounds in here. Basically, what I can tell you straight out of the gate is that you definitely need Avenger Force rounds, because Elite's kind of do what Elite's been doing nowadays, been veering all over the place, and can barely get noticed. I'm gonna say accuracy is not gonna be the Elite's game, but if you give the Avenger Force rounds that I've got over the course of last year, it'll zone in exactly where you need. It's not laser accurate. You still probably need to reopen the blaster. Still have to basically re-grease everything, get a proper scar barrel, because this is great and all. I like it, but I'm mainly gonna use it for mostly the megas and the rival rounds I mentioned in the short. And I have a crappy round here. Let me see if it even... It's good. Like, I'm over-talking and rambling than usual for a Nerf blaster like this. And my overall conclusion for the Aeon Pro is a must-buy. For $25, you get basically the last 10, maybe 12 years of community-made mods, like, ready to go in box, at a store shelf, ready to go. And they even get, and I also got the 100-round pack of half-links. It is worth the buy. It is worth your time. It is worth $10. And that, in general, that's like 35 total USP standard. That's amazing. That is 100% why anyone would go to this. It's worth making the pump group kits, in my opinion, because I might actually do it. It makes a good secondary. I really want to, like, use it as a backup primary. I like it so much that it's worth doing a lot. But so before I get the end cards, there is one last big selling point that I hope it shows. 1, 2, 3. It's shotguns. And yeah, you have to basically take it down to like 4 like half-length rounds to even get it at the 75 FPS. Card to Cooper video explain that. That is impressive, and I totally believe it, and definitely confirmed on just on my end of my copy of the Aeon Pro. Now another big elephant in the room. Why did this take so long for me to pick up what is an instant buy, an instant classic in the making for not just the hobby but for casual fans like myself in general? It's out of shelves. It's been out of shelves for months at my neck of the woods up in Long Island, and the fact it took till March to finally get it in store shelves at, like, the same Walmart I've been, like, circling around for, like, a good year and a half, and the holidays didn't help it in general. This was definitely a journey that definitely took a long time to get here at the house. Not just the Aeon Pro, but, like, this style of blaster type in general. It's too hardcore for, like, Jason, and for those who are new to my Real Nerf Red Hood playlist, I've generally kept Jason and most of the Outlaws in, like, the mega space of, like, the hobby. Now, what I want to do for the Pro series is, like I said, I want to put it in, like, 2, like, DC characters that I believe deserves to go an inch further than what even Jason could do when I portray the character. I know for a fact I'm probably going to do Deathstroke at the end of the day because nobody knows who the hell Grifter is on, like, a marketing sense, and that I have to probably make the mask myself, DIY style. I did for Jason, I'll probably do again for him, but I don't want to sacrifice a bat mask that I could probably use for a newer version of Jason I've been wanting to do since Rebirth with that half mask stuff. But again, pre-COVID, it's worth a shot, and now I don't know. Ultimately, I'm rambling, and again, this is a game changer. Even though the Nexus was the game changer that it clearly needed for the space. And if you are going out with this, I highly recommend 2 things. 1, you do not bring the half-length at all in, like, any, like, space with kids and stuff, because this is a high-performance round. This is a high-performance dart. It is definitely clocking a lot of ranges, which I will do a separate range test video for, hopefully this or next week. This is worth going out for. This is worth trying out in a park. This is worth going to an outdoor environment. This is worth a professional grade game, but not when you're going with, like, casual fans and stuff like that, which is a great reason why you go for full length. And even at full length, it also shotguns too. Like, I think at best you could put, like, 2 or 3 darts, and it'll still shoot out just fine. Another thing I highly recommend everyone do, if you are getting this version and the Nexus, is do not dry fire as much. I purposely had to basically show the orientation of the blaster and stuff like that, but ultimately you need to re-grease this. You need to basically keep it on safety, which I also forgot to mention. Yeah, this has a safety too. Like, Adventure Force knew that this is going to be a high-grade, like, high hobby-level blaster that needs that kind of time and attention and that many safety features. And if you are going out of your way to make pump kits or just going for, like, sights and new stuff like that, that has been around the clock being made ever since these blasters came out last year, I highly recommend researching everyone, understanding where and when you can actually pick up copies. If you have a 3D printer, I highly recommend building the files yourself instead of going out of your way for the hardware kits. It's cheaper that way. If you don't have a 3D printer like me, you're probably going to have to really budget yourself on where you're going to rely on the hardware kit, myself included. I have not adopted yet any hardware kit in general, but most definitely 9 times out of 10, I'm probably going to be doing a pump kit. It deserves to be a primary of its own. It is too huge, just space-wise, to be a pistol. To put as a reference before we get to the cards is my stock Strife. It towers over it. Like, it basically towers. This is like the gold standard for primary and secondary in the flywheel space. This towers over it just on its own without the mag, or even with like the half-length round. It is still a behemoth of a blaster. It is worth the $25. It is worth basically doing size comparisons. This is worth anyone who's in the Nerf hobby that wants to like go next level with this. Please do so, but please understand, if you're taking this out to a game, do basically what your event organizers are telling you to do. Please follow the instructions and rules, and for the love of God, please have eye protection. This is half-length rounds. This is basically the closest to a professional grade half-length dart that I've seen since the beginnings of understanding this fandom, the beginnings of me being a Nerf fan, me being Nerf fan 16, me being Real Nerf Red Hood, now being as Retrokid Reviews. This is a long time coming for my channel as a whole, and this needs a character to call home. And I hope that if YouTube still has the voting poll, hopefully card there. If not, please let me in the comments if it's Grifter or Deathstroke, because I personally want to do Deathstroke. I am not as jacked as Joe Magalera is going to be for the Snyder Cut, but that's where I lie. Grifter is basically Jason, but worse, but with telekinesis. His wiki's weird, down below. And with that all being said, end cards finally coming up to my short previewing this review, and to my previous video here, I believe was talking about WandaVision on its final episodes, and me basically going on a tangent about the theories, and it was not as a bit of a tangent as me making Smallville rants with my deleted Superman and Lois review, which I still wanted to do. I'll probably do a full season review, honestly, with that being said. That also being said, sure, here too, sub to the channel, notification bell down below for future Dark Zone Pro blasters like the Nexus and so on when they come down the pipe for my channel and for production standpoint. I highly recommend this blaster, but again, please do your research, do the mods with a grain of salt. Depower the spring as much as you can for pro events or casual events or even NIC events or even HVZ events and stuff like that. Especially with your near kids, please stay at full length. And for if you're going to be with other adults and it's going to be a professional match, stay with a half-length round. It is at the same kind of level you get with Worker Gen 3s and so many years of like half-lengths I've heard over the years. It is at that standard. It is the gold standard that everyone needs to strive for now. And I highly recommend this nonetheless. And with that all finally being said, and my final pro shot out of the way, I'm Retrokid Reviews. Hope you learned anything out of this review, but with that all being said, this is a great blaster, and I highly recommend you pick up the whole lot, because it is worth game-changing and getting Nerf's attention that this is the future of the sport and the hobby as a whole. That said, take care, please subscribe, and we got a lot of work to do with this. No jokes.